Agora eu vou dar uma saidinha daqui pra almoçar, saindo do hotel, passar ali, dar uma almoçada, tentar almoçar num tal de Nandos. Vou ver como que é a comida lá. Aparentemente, segundo o que eu dei uma olhada, parece ser a comida ser boa e não ser muito cara, então por isso que eu vou dar uma passada lá. Depois eu vou tentar ir no passeio no Rio. Valeu. Agora eu tô aqui no Rio no Rio, em Chicago, onde passam os barcos. Daqui a pouco eu vou pegar um barco desse daí pra poder ver esse passeio pelo Rio. Shoreline, não sei qual é o barco, depois eu descobri. Já tem uma torre Trump, padrão, as bandeiras dos Estados Unidos, um monte de prédio. Aqui o Rio. Fidelis, assim. E é isso, agora eu tô ainda caminhando pra ir almoçar. Eu vou lá almoçar, daqui a pouco eu vou nesse passeio do Rio. Não sei como que é, mas vou dar uma olhada pra poder almoçar. Tô aqui no restaurante Nandos, peri, parece que é de frango e tal, principalmente. Uma visão da rua aqui, parece uma coxinha gigante, né? Bom, não vai ligar do outro lado também. Citibank. Eu vou pedir alguma coisa pra ver. Acho que eu vou pedir frango verde. Aqui, cardápio. Restaurante Nandos, mas aqui embaixo tem um outro restaurante que até tem fila pra entrar aí. E olha que eu tô vendo lugares vazios aí, mas tem uma fila pra entrar, bem grande até. Aí o pessoal tá esperando, parece que tem gente que já tá com o cardápio na mão, tá pra olhar o que vai querer, mas tá aí esperando na fila. Nesse restaurante eu tive que escanear esse código aqui e fazer o pedido pelo celular. Aí eu coloquei o número da mesa lá, fiz o pedido, pedi. Lá você já coloca o que você quer beber, coloca algumas opções lá que se perguntar, né? O tipo de frango, se vai ser picante e tal. E também você já coloca a taxa lá do garçom, a gorjeta, né? E paga pelo aplicativo mesmo. Depois você pode esperar que vai receber na sua mesa. E aí eles vêm trazer. Depois você tem que ir lá, ó, naquele lugar lá, no final lá, naquele balcão, e pegar os talheres, porque os talheres não são entregues junto com o pedido sozinho, tem que ir lá buscar. Lá também tem alguns molhos lá que pode ser pegos lá e tal. Aí tá lá, é isso aí. Vou comer agora esse vídeo. Como é que tá isso aqui? Parece amarelado. E o arroz também tá amarelado. Ficou bom, tá com gosto de couve-flor que tá conserva, igual picles aqui também. Incrível. Arroz. o frango, falou que é café. Eu pedi o hot, também tinha o extra hot, mas dessa vez eu não pedi. Vai gerar um pouco de... porque eu não sei muito tipicamente é esse hot dele. Daqui a pouco eu vou passear e utiliza aquela. Meio peitozinho bom. Não é picante fraco, não. Então acho que tá bom. Tem que pensar bom. Vou passar desse pouco. Um pouco de abacate. Muito bom. Tá ótimo. Café na Nutella. Tem bastante gente aí. Tem uma fila grande para poder entrar. A pessoa fica ali na fila esperando entrar no café. Eu vou atravessar aqui. Eu comi ali naquele Nandas, né? Comida boa, apimentadinha, que é o frango e tá gostoso. Embaixo é o Nutella que eu falei, que é o café da Nutella, que é da empresa Nutella mesmo, parece. E aí tem bastante gente. Aqui na loja do iPhone, com o iPhone 17, né? Aí tem umas filas enormes aqui pra poder comprar alguma coisa. Eu não sei se vale a pena esperar na fila hoje. Não vou esperar na fila hoje, é porque daqui a pouco eu tenho um passeio agendado. Depois eu passo aqui. Se eu vier ali naquela mesa ali, tá os iPhones Pro. Aí eu encontrei lá o Pro Max, né? Eu passei nessa Apple Store, entrei ali, eu olhei os iPhones e tal. Mas eu tô indo aqui, que é do lado aqui, ó, já o Shoreline, pra poder fazer um passeio de barco. Tá um solzinho quente, vou fazer um solzinho quente. Passei protetor solar, tem um boné e vamos ver. Agora eu tô chegando aqui no Shoreline, no horário 2:15, 2:15, para poder acompanhar o passeio de rio. Aqui, ó, já tem uma fila enorme para poder entrar, para pegar lugar aqui em cima no sol, tá calor, para passar aqui. Tá vendo? Enorme. É isso.
Beauty. you're going to see a beautiful city, but we're going to talk about how beauty is so powerful that it can influence people and shape culture. Second, you're going to learn, you're going to get edutained, and we're going to learn about the evolution of architecture. Building. Okay, this guy's early 1920s. Note that, early 20s. Spanish Revival is the name of the style because it's modeled after a cathedral in Sevilla. It's because the young United States didn't yet know what our own style of beauty was. We were still copying and pasting beauty from Europe. It wasn't until later we came into our own, okay? Next building in front of us has this name on it, the spectacular Trump International Hotel and Tower. This beauty is the second tallest building in Chicago. It's a high-end residence and hotel. It's from 2009, and it is a good example of one of the architectural styles that we're going to talk quite a bit about today, guys, and it's called contextualism. Check this out. Look up there with me. See these three patio terraces? They're called setbacks. They're not arbitrary heights because they're each at the height of a neighboring building. Let me explain. First patio, where the Trump sign is, same height of the roof for the white Wrigley building, which is iconic corncob towers of Marina City. These are pie-shaped apartments. I got a buddy who lives up there. A little difficult to furnish a triangular-shaped living room, right? Now here's its story. A self-sufficient city within a city where you can live above your luxury yacht, your own valet parks, car, restaurants, hotel, office space, movies, theater, everything you need, a city within a city. Over to the left, look at all the people on our river walk. This river walk, guys, just about particular building, 1990, designed by the late Ricardo Bofill from Catalonia in Barcelona, Spain, one of the few international architects represented on the river. For those of you who are visiting from out of town, which is most of you, here is some orienting vocabulary for you. You may find helpful. The part of town to your left is called Loop. You may have heard that term. Let me explain it. Our subway system, the trains are called the L because many of them are elevated. And they literally make a loop in the core business district. So the city center is called the Loop architecture because almost everything you're going to see around here new within the last 6 years. Salesforce building's 3 years old. Nerdy looking Y-shaped building we'll talk about because it's nerdy. That's 6 years old. Everything new, guys, except this guy to the sharp left. They look contemporary. This one's actually from 1983. That's 42 years ago. And it's an excellent example of contextualism. The curve of that reflective glass building not only imitates the curve of the river, but it reflects and flatters the context. Contextualism. By the way, one of Chicago's favorite buildings. You know why? It was featured in a documentary. It was based on a true story from the 80s. Some of you have seen the movie. It was pretty popular. It was called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anyone? Class? Bueller? Anyone will get you do the first of 3 U-turns with this giant boat. This time we're going to head down the South Branch. There's more fun stuff to see down there. I'm going to get off the mic, walk around, see if you got any questions, make sure you can hear okay. It's a good time for y'all to go down to the bar. Go down and see Zach at the bar. Here's the first one now. This building has what's called inertial slush damper tanks. A mouthful, but here's what it is. Water. Inside the top floor of the building, there's 100 this guy is about 6 years old now. It takes about three and a half years to build a skyscraper here in Chicago. On the right, ends up, we're built chronologically, sequentially, right? So we're going to march through this little 5-building toughest buildings around the country. between about 1930 and about 1957. That's a whole generation. Look up here to the right. See the black box when they reboot architecture in the late 50s and the 70s, contextualism in the 80s, high-tech, high-performance buildings these days, and that is the end of our TED Talk. On a few blocks to your right. No one knows how, okay? The problem was the wind. There was a 30-mile-an-hour storm wind from the southwest, which creates a firestorm of horizontal flames that literally jumped across the river twice. I think the cow was framed. I think the city just needed escape. Cow. Oh my gosh. Cow. Yeah, it was a cow. No, guys, I think it was a cow. Chicagoans, many of us are stubborn, nostalgic, lazy, on a muscle memory, and still call it the Sears Tower. So you're going to just hear it go both ways. The Sears Tower is the Willis Tower. Okay, the Hancock is different. You'll see that later on. Here's something fun. Check this out. Frenchman named Alain Robert. They call him the French Spider-Man. He did it faster. Now, both of them made it successfully. Both of them were arrested successfully. You can't do that. Which didn't stop Alain Robert. He went on to class looking down through their feet at you and taking pictures. Most Chicagoans would suggest Sears Willis Tower by day, that's the sky deck and the ledge, and then Hancock Tower by night, that's 360 with the glass tilt. Look up there, see the antenna, remember they don't count? The antenna, let's put it in perspective, on the top of the Sears Tower is the same height as this black box building right here. That's how big the antenna was. Imagine that big building on top of that big. Imagine that. It's amazing, like 80% discount. Meanwhile, Chicago, I think it holds the world record, if there was one, for the most number of nicknames. I count about a dozen. Check this out. The second city, you know one of the reasons. The first one burned down. The Windy City. Two reasons for this one. One, the obvious, usually pretty windy, but before that, when Chicago was campaigning to host the World's Cup, this is the city of Chicago's flag. You're going to see this flag in derivation. We talked about that. Then there was another World's Fair in 1933. The bridges. Yes, the bridges open and close like giant teeter-totters. They open in the middle, and they do it about 50 gigantic, ginormous Art Deco merchandise mart right in front of us. Did you know in 1930 that was the largest? Now, every street has a story. Here's this one, LaSalle Street. Did you know in 1930, according to the Burnham Plan of 1909, they needed to widen LaSalle Street. They had to turn it into a boulevard. Over to the right, see the short, squat little building I'm pointing to, number 55 on it right over here. You know, we call it the Danny DeVito building, stuck between two supermodels. See why this is insane. Okay, guys, keep the cameras rolling. Hey there. What do we got? Is that a wedding? A wedding. Congrats. That'll be you, buddy. November. Yeah. Good for you. Okay, guys, keep the camera and explain the Chicago time beef. Ready? Thinly sliced roast beef, cooked in its own seasoned juice. You take a hunk of beef, you put it in a French roll. You take the French roll and you dunk it back into the juice. You put some jardiniere peppers on it. It's kind of soggy, a little hard to eat, very good taste. There's a place called Port. Look at the beauty up here to the left, guys. You got the bridges and the flags, and now you know what those flags are and all that. Right, California, you learned about the flag. The Apple Store, standing right next to it in Zeller Plaza, looking right through the building. True story. Next building, over to the left, you're going to see a very quick glimpse of the James Hardy Black Box building I'm pointing to. Guys, you want to take a seat back there? The James Hardy. Now, it's kind of boring. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the one in the second row behind it. It's obscured right now. It'll come into view in a sec. It's not the Hourglass building. We'll talk about that next. It's over here, second row behind James Hardy, coming into view right now. It's a building with white, horizontal, curvy fins. This one is the third tallest building in Chicago, but that is the tallest building in the world. that's been designed by a woman-led art. Does that? You hold sideways for a little bit. You're going to have a nice little piece of some Chicago skyline right behind you. So if you were thinking about snapping that group or family photo, good time you to plan to do that. We asked a couple of things. One, please just don't step on benches and chairs to take the photos. That's nonsense. You're looking to the left as you should, because simultaneously slashes the other way to correct for the movement. Second stabilizing technique, you got to use your imagination, because it's kind of like the Sears Tower. But instead of bundling 9 columns together into a 3x3 grid like they did, this one does it with 4 columns lined up straight. There's a little short column on the left you hardly notice, and then the 3 tall staggered ones lined up supporting each other in this axial direction, which happens to usually be the wing direction. Third stabilizing technique is even cooler, and this is one you can all see. You've already noticed, I'm sure. Guys, look up to it, but you got more than your money's worth. If you did, we gratefully welcome any form of appreciation and gratuity. Guys, I don't know if you do this. I just got these business cards. It's got a QR code on it. It takes you right to the place where you can write a nice fine. Do you see a beautiful city? Okay, that was a promise. Now check this out. Do you remember the annual City Beautiful movement, World's Fair, 1893? They used to believe, and I still do, and you might, that rules lifted. We'll just stay seated. I got these little cards on behalf of Shoreline Sightseeing. I'm Captain Albert, this outstanding crew. My name is Jim, and I want to welcome you again to the greatest city in the world, sweet home, Chicago. Thanks for coming, everybody. Hope y'all had a good time. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Comprar um sorvetezinho aqui porque tá quente e ninguém espera.